How to get an abortion, USA. When carried out in the United States by a licensed provider, abortion is both safe and permitted. Finding a local physician and scheduling an appointment are the first steps you take after deciding to get an abortion. When you initially arrive, a counselor will meet with you to go over your medical background and the various treatment options. The majority of the time, the abortion will be scheduled for a follow-up visit within the next week or so. If you aren't sure if you want to get an abortion yet, studying what to anticipate, from picking a clinic to going through the surgery itself, can help you make up your mind. Part 1. Finding an abortion provider. 1. Find a local abortionist by searching your location. You could already be aware of a location where someone you know underwent an abortion, such as a neighborhood clinic that also offers birth control and other reproductive health services. You can find a list of nearby providers on the website of Planned Parenthood if you don't know of one and don't feel comfortable asking around. 1. Simply input your zip code to see a list of choices. You can request a recommendation if you have faith in your family physician. Your doctor might be able to offer you the contact details of a medical professional who works at a nearby hospital or clinic. However, not everyone is eager to provide recommendations. Online advertisements for doctors or clinics should be avoided. You may occasionally find doctors using this method who are not authorized to perform abortions. Don't stray from companies you've heard of or those that a friend or trusted source has recommended. 2. Ask the institution about its offerings by giving them a call. Since some health centers only provide referrals, be sure to find out beforehand if they truly perform abortions there. Before scheduling an appointment, it would be helpful to make a list of any questions you have in mind, such as how many visits are necessary before you can receive an abortion, whether a companion is allowed to accompany you, and what documentation you will be required to bring. To make sure you feel at ease there, you might want to tour the clinic. Licensed facilities are spotless, maintained, and expert. Find a better solution if something makes you feel uncomfortable. Never get an abortion in a private residence or a shady facility. Ask for the identity of the abortion practitioner and make sure they are a board-certified obstetrician. 3. Inquire about prices. Pricing for abortions during the first trimester often ranges from $300 to $1,000. Depending on how long you've been pregnant, prices change. Due to the distinct type of operation involved, a late-term abortion may cost more. In general, hospitals charge more than health centers. There are usually ways to help cover the cost of an abortion if you're concerned about how to pay for one. You don't have to pay the full amount up front. Some clinics provide a sliding scale or payment arrangements. Although most of the time insurance only cover birth control, it might occasionally be covered by health insurance. To learn more, contact your insurance provider. Another choice if you don't have insurance is to apply for assistance through an abortion fund. A collection of people who care about reproductive rights and assist others who are unable to pay for abortions are known as an abortion fund. 4. Locate a provider in difficult-to-reach states. Many clinics have closed as a result of some states' extremely severe abortion legislation. Finding a location for an abortion might be challenging as a result, especially if you don't have a car to travel to the closest city with a clinic. You still have options if you live in a city without access to abortion services. Find the location of the nearest clinic. Even if they are in a different state from where you live, have a look at the major cities. Find out if you can get a ride there and stay with a friend or relative. Since the majority of providers demand that you visit them at least twice, once for the initial consultation and again for the abortion, you'll need to do a little more preparation. Check to see if there is a program created to assist those in your circumstance. Tell the clinic where you wish to get the procedure and what's going on when you call. Non-profit organizations that support reproductive rights frequently offer lodging and transportation to individuals who must go outside of the city. 5. Understand the laws of your state. Regarding the circumstances under which, where, and how an abortion may be performed, various states have varying laws. For instance, although some states have laws requiring abortions to be done in hospitals, others let them be carried out in other types of healthcare facilities. You can move through the process more simply if you are aware of the abortion laws in your state. To discuss your circumstances and learn if there are any particular requirements you need to be aware of, contact a nearby abortion clinic if you have any questions. The rules for parental consent vary by state. Your state might demand that you obtain your parents' consent before having an abortion if you're under the age of 18. If you don't like it, you can ask a judge to waive the requirement or grant you a judicial bypass so you can get an abortion without telling your parents. In some areas, getting an ultrasound, pre-abortion counseling, or waiting a specified length of time between your initial consultation and the abortion appointment may be needed. 6. Do not attempt it yourself. Finding a provider, talking about your options with a counselor, getting the abortion, and paying for it can all be intimidating steps in the process of getting an abortion. To avoid having to inform others that they are pregnant, some people are inclined to try to end the pregnancy on their own. Under no circumstances should you consider doing this because it is so risky. Self-abortions frequently result in severe harm or death. They are particularly prevalent in areas where abortion is prohibited. When carried out by a licensed physician in a hygienic facility, legal abortions are one of the most frequently performed operations in the U.S. and are very safe. It is believed that more than 1/3 of adult women have undergone at least one abortion.
Part 2. Knowing what to expect. 1. Make a first appointment with the provider of your choice. You'll make an appointment to see the chosen practitioner when you phone, perhaps within the next several days. You will review your options, take a pregnancy test, and speak with a counselor on the day of your visit. You will be required to complete some papers about your medical background. To ensure that you receive the proper care, be sure to provide honest answers to the questions. Remember that you always have the option to change your mind. You may choose not to get an abortion if your conversation with a counselor leaves you feeling that way.
2. Choose the type of abortion you want to have. Depending on how long you've been pregnant, different options will be accessible. Which option is best for your circumstance will be determined with the aid of your counselor. Every procedure is both secure and efficient. The most common method of abortion is an aspiration, which is typically available up until the first 16 weeks of pregnancy. You'll be given a physical examination and a mild sedative so you may remain awake throughout. The fetus is extracted using a suction device after a tube is introduced into the cervix. 6. It only requires 10 minutes or less. Similar to aspiration, dilation and evacuation, D&E, are carried out after the first 16 weeks of pregnancy. The cervix is widened using a medication, and the fetus is extracted with a suction apparatus. Without taking into account the time it takes to prepare the cervix, the process lasts 10 to 20 minutes. Another alternative for a first-trimester abortion is the abortion pill. You are given 2 types of medication to take during a chemical abortion, one that encourages the uterine lining to break down and one that makes it empty, misoprostol. It results in bleeding and cramps, and a follow-up appointment is advised. 3. Make arrangements for the procedure's day. Plan to arrive a few minutes early to avoid the appointment running late. Depending on how long you have to wait, you may spend a total of 2 to 4 hours at the facility. Before the abortion itself, you will typically undergo an ultrasound and an examination. You will then recover for about an hour before it's time to depart. It could be a good idea to bring a friend who can accompany you to the facility and drive you home once you're done. You were advised at your first appointment on how to get ready physically for the abortion. The 2 hours before the abortion should be spent fasting, and alcohol shouldn't be had after midnight the night before. After the abortion, you can feel fatigue for the remainder of the day. On the day of your appointment and during the following few days, prepare to relax. To give yourself enough time to recover, you might want to make plans to take a day off work or schedule the treatment for the weekend.
4. Follow the aftercare instructions. A bundle of information on how to take care of yourself following the abortion will be handed to you. Light to moderate bleeding and mild cramping will be present, but these should stop in a few hours. If bleeding persists, you'll be told to seek medical help right away. You should follow your doctor's or clinic's recommendations regarding when you can resume having sex, but you are free to take a shower whenever you want. If you were told to, make an appointment for a follow-up visit.
Part 3. Getting support. 1. When considering your options, consult with trusted individuals. You should seek support while you consider your alternatives when considering whether to get an abortion. Having somebody you can confide in with whom you can discuss your feelings is quite beneficial following the treatment. Recognize that you are not by yourself in this situation.
Speak to close friends or relatives who have experienced it before. If you can't talk to your family, get support. Speak with a counselor at your school or medical center with compassionate staff. When you have no one in your life with whom to share your predicament, there are hotlines you can call.
2. The crisis pregnancy centers should be avoided. These clinics are frequently promoted in locations where you may find directories of places where you can get an abortion, although the organizations that manage them don't support abortion for pregnant women. To get individuals to come in, they frequently provide free sonograms or pregnancy tests. Then, staff counselors make an effort to persuade women to postpone having an abortion. It's vital to be aware that there are people who might try to influence your decision, even if talking with a counselor about all your options, including choosing not to have an abortion and to become a parent instead, is an excellent idea. Crisis pregnancy centers will disseminate pro-abortion misinformation. Check their website for misconceptions about things like post-abortion syndrome, a higher risk of cancer, and being unable to have children in the future. 3. Learn about the political debate around abortion. Abortion is a very contentious subject in the United States, and as a result, it frequently comes up in contentious political and religious discussions. Outside of abortion clinics and the houses of abortion providers, anti-abortion groups frequently stage rallies and demonstrations. Although having an abortion is a personal choice, you can run with people who disagree with you. At the clinic, be prepared to confront protesters. They might try to talk to you or talk you out of going in while holding up disturbing signs. To avoid having to deal with the protesters alone, several clinics offer volunteer escorts who will accompany you as you make your way from the parking lot to the reception area. Reject any food or water offered to you by a demonstrator. You cannot have an abortion if you eat or drink. The individual is not being polite, they are attempting to obstruct your method against your choice. Prepare yourself to handle those in your life who disagree with the choice. Some of your friends or relatives may disagree with you about having an abortion. 4. If you require assistance after the abortion, get it. After an abortion, many women have conflicted emotions. You may experience happiness, rage, guilt, or melancholy. These feelings are common, and with time they lose some of their vigors. You can be in good health and be prepared to resume your regular activities without talking about your experience. Consider speaking to a counselor if you feel the need to talk about your experience and process your feelings. You can also call Exhale at 1-866-4-EXHALE for judgment-free emotional help following an abortion.